There is a man I want you to picture. He is 64 years old. Every morning, 3 times a week, he drives to the gym. He lifts weights. He does everything right. The exercises his son showed him, the routine from the magazine, the machines in the correct order. He has done this for 2 years. And he is no stronger than the day he started. This is one of the most quietly heartbreaking things that happens to people after 60. They finally do the thing everyone told them to do. They lift weights, and their body does not answer. The muscle does not come. The strength does not return. And most of them conclude the same thing. I'm just old now. This is it. But they are wrong. And tonight, I'm going to show you exactly why. Because the weights were never the problem. Lifting weights after 60 does almost nothing on its own. It only works when something else is already in place, something no one talks about, something your body stops doing automatically after a certain age. By the end of this video, you'll understand the missing first step, why it matters more than the exercise itself, and exactly how to fix it. Stay with me, because Chapter 4 is the part that changes everything. For most of your life, the formula was simple. You wanted to be stronger, you lifted something heavy, and your body adapted. Muscle is a response system. You stress it, it rebuilds bigger. This worked at 20. It worked at 30. For many, it still worked at 45. So when a man reaches 60 and feels weak, the advice he hears is the same advice that has always worked. Just lift weights. Start strength training. Use it or lose it. But here's what almost no one tells him. Somewhere between the ages of 50 and 70, the body's response system changes. The stress signal still goes out. You still lift the weight, your muscles still feel it, but the rebuilding no longer happens the way it used to. Scientists have a name for this. They call it anabolic resistance. Anabolic simply means building up. Resistance means the body resists the signal. Put them together, and you get the single most important phrase for anyone over 60 who wants to stay strong. Your body has become resistant to the signal to build muscle. Think of it like a phone with the ringer turned down. Someone is calling, the exercise is calling, but the muscle barely hears it. You can call louder. You can call more often. But if the ringer is down, most of those calls go unanswered. This is why the man in our story lifted for 2 years and got nowhere. He was calling a phone that wasn't ringing. And no amount of lifting fixes a ringer problem. So the real question is not how do I lift more? The real question is, how do I turn the ringer back up? That's what the rest of this video is about. To fix the problem, you have to understand it. So let me show you what is really happening inside an aging muscle. Slowly, clearly, because this is the foundation for everything else. Starting around age 30, you begin losing muscle mass, slowly at first, maybe 0.5% a year. You don't notice it. But after 60, the losses accelerate. This process has a name, sarcopenia, the age-related loss of muscle. Left unchecked, it's why grip weakens, why stairs get harder, why a fall that a younger body would shrug off can change an older person's life forever. But here's the detail that matters. You don't lose all muscle equally. You lose your fast muscle fibers first. The explosive ones, the type 2 fibers you use to catch yourself when you trip, to stand up quickly, to react. These are exactly the fibers ordinary slow lifting tends to neglect. So the aging body faces a double problem. The muscle is harder to build because of anabolic resistance, and the most important fibers are the ones fading fastest. And there's a third layer, one that almost no fitness video mentions. The connection between nerve and muscle weakens. Your brain sends the command to contract along a nerve, and that nerve meets the muscle at a junction. After 60, these junctions degrade. Some muscle fibers effectively lose their phone line to the brain entirely. This is why an older person can lose strength faster than they lose muscle size. It isn't only that the muscle is smaller, it's that the brain can no longer fully reach it. Now, this sounds bleak. I know, but I'm telling you all of this because every single one of these problems responds to the right approach. Anabolic resistance can be overcome. Fast fibers can be reawakened. Even those nerve connections can be partially rebuilt. The body over 60 is not a broken machine. It's a machine running a different operating system. And once you learn its rules, it responds beautifully. The first rule is the thing that has to come before the weights. Let's get to it. Here is the missing first step. Before the weights work, you have to turn the ringer back up, and the single loudest way to do that is protein. But not protein the way you've been told. For decades, the official protein recommendation was built around the average sedentary adult, enough to prevent deficiency. Roughly 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight. For a long time, everyone assumed older people needed the same, or even less. We now know that it's close to backwards. Because of anabolic resistance, older adults need more protein than younger ones to build the same muscle, not less. The research on aging muscle points towards something closer to 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram for older adults who want to preserve and build strength. For many men over 60, that's a jump of 50 to 80% over what they're currently eating. But the total isn't even the most important part. The timing is. Here's how most older people eat: a tiny breakfast, maybe toast and coffee, a modest lunch, and then most of their protein at dinner. The problem is that muscle building has a threshold. Below a certain amount of protein in a single meal, the muscle barely responds, especially in anabolic-resistant muscle. That threshold is higher for older adults. Somewhere around 30 to 40 grams of protein per meal is where the muscle finally hears the signal. So the man eating 5 grams of protein at breakfast and 10 at lunch is spending 2/3 of his day below the threshold. His muscle is starving for the signal for most of his waking hours, and then gets one big dose at dinner it can't fully use. The fix is not exotic. Reach that protein threshold at each meal and spread your protein more evenly across the day instead of loading it all at dinner. 30 to 40 grams at breakfast, real breakfast, eggs, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese. A solid amount at lunch. The same at dinner. Research on older adults links a more even protein distribution to greater lean muscle mass. Suddenly the muscle is getting a clear signal through the day instead of one late dose it can't fully use. Do this for even a few weeks before you touch a heavy weight, and something remarkable happens. When you finally do lift, the muscle answers. The exact same exercise that did nothing for 2 years starts working, because now the phone is ringing. That's the missing first step. Protein first, weight second. But there's a second half to this, and it's the one chapter one most want you to hear. So if protein is the missing first step, do the weights even matter? Yes, enormously. But the kind of lifting matters, and this is where almost everyone over 60 goes wrong. Remember the fast fibers, the explosive type 2 fibers that fade first? Most senior fitness advice tells older people to lift slowly and gently. Light weights, high reps, slow and controlled. It feels safe, and it does almost nothing for the fibers you're losing fastest. To wake up fast fibers, you don't need to lift dangerously heavy. You need to lift with intent to move fast. Lift the weight, even a moderate weight, with speed on the way up, then lower it slowly under control. Scientists call this power training, and study after study on older adults shows it improves the things that actually keep you independent. Standing up, climbing stairs, catching your balance. Far more than slow lifting does. This is the part that changes everything. A 68-year-old doing slow bicep curls is training the wrong system. A 68-year-old standing up from a chair as fast and powerfully as they safely can for few sets, that person is rebuilding the exact fibers that prevent falls. And here's the beautiful part. Remember those degrading nerve connections, the muscle fibers that lost their phone line? Power training, that fast, intentional movement, is one of few things shown to help the nervous system re-recruit them. You're not just training muscle. You are rebuilding the wiring between your brain and your body. So the formula is now complete. Protein turns the ringer up. Fast, intentional strength work makes the call. And the muscle, finally, answers. Picture our man again. If 2 years ago someone had told him, eat 30 grams of protein at every meal, then lift with power instead of grinding slowly, he would not be standing where he is now, discouraged. He'd be stronger than he's been in a decade. Not because he tried harder, because he finally did it in the right order. Protein and power training are the engine, but 3 quiet things multiply everything and cost nothing. The first is sleep. Muscle is not built in the gym. It's built during deep sleep when growth hormone peaks. After 60, deep sleep shrinks naturally, which means recovery slows. Protecting your sleep is protecting your muscle. A cool, dark room, a consistent bedtime, and no screens in the last hour do more for your strength than any supplement. The second is vitamin D. Low vitamin D is strongly associated with muscle weakness and falls in older adults, and a large fraction of people over 60 are deficient without knowing it. Sunlight, fatty fish, and, with your doctor's guidance, a simple supplement can remove a hidden brake on your strength. The third is simply walking, not as exercise for muscle, as circulation for delivery. Walking pushes blood, oxygen, and the protein you ate to the muscles that need them. It also fights the inflammation that worsens anabolic resistance. A daily walk isn't separate from your strength plan. It's the delivery truck. None of these 3 are dramatic. That's the point. The men and women who stay strong into their 80s are almost never doing something extreme. They're doing ordinary things: protein, power, sleep, sunlight, walking, with a consistency that most people never manage. So let's bring it all together. If you're over 60 and you felt your strength slipping, understand this. The problem was never that you're too old to build muscle. The problem is that after 60, the muscle stops answering the old signals. Lifting weights alone calls a phone with the ringer turned down. Turn the ringer up first, with enough protein spread across the day, every day. Then make the call the right way, with fast, intentional strength work that wakes your fading fibers and rebuilds the wiring to your brain. And let sleep, vitamin D, and daily walking multiply all of it. The man in our story is not a lost cause. Neither are you. It was never too late. It was just the wrong order. Start with the first step this week: 1 high-protein breakfast every morning. That single change before you touch a single weight is where strength after 60 truly begins. If this gave you a new way to think about your body, stay with me, because in the next video I'll show you exactly where your body sends stress when you exercise and why the right kind of movement can quietly heal it. Take a deep breath, take care of yourself, and I'll see you there.